This week on the Road with Mickey, the best Disney attraction backstories.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
Hey Brenda,
Hey,
he
hey,
says,
hey.
I'm Grogu. Here I
He's the
am,
best.
hear me roar.
He's the best.
He's a quiet roarer. He's a quiet roarer.
That's what I love about him. He's a quiet roarer.
There you go. And we are on the road with Mickey. This is episode 318 for July 20th, 2026. And our feature topic this week is the best Disney attraction backstories. We are each doing a really deep dive on one specific attraction. We each have a different one, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And we are going to tell you why the one we picked is absolutely the best attraction backstory in our opinion. So, um, so that's coming up. But first, we have some cheddar from the big cheese. And Sophie, you start us off.
All right, I will. Interestingly, two Walt Disney World restaurants have now introduced a walk-up list feature. The Beak and Barrel at the Magic Kingdom will be adding it soon, and over at Epcot, Geo82 will be adding it as well. Those are two very popular lounges to get into. You needed a reservation to get into those. Currently, it looks like the features aren't fully available, but if you are near the locations and look in the My Disney Experience app, you will see a button for their location that says Join Walk-Up List.
Yeah.
That is very special.
Very timely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or should I say it's about time?
we'll see.
That's good,
We'll see
though.
how it
That's
does.
good
It'll be
cheddar.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be interesting. Well, this is more rumor than anything, but it appears that the Disney Cruise Line may be bringing back departures out of New York City. There have been some
Ooh.
updates on various cruise websites, such as the Manhattan Cruise Terminal website, and this is sparking discussion about whether DCL is returning to New York. No official word from Disney, but stay tuned.
I wouldn't be at all surprised to hear an announcement out of D23.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that is very, very
There's
true.
also been, if you go on the cruise line um, site, like you wanted to book a cruise,
Mm-hmm.
one of the options that you can pick for your departure port is New York. And the question is it always been there and just no one ever noticed it, or is it something they just recently added? I don't know, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see it on the announced somehow in the Disney 23 at D23. So
Yeah,
so we'll see.
we'll stay tuned.
Yep. And here at On the Road with Mickey, we would like to extend our thoughts and prayers to the family of Disney legend Don Iwerks, who passed away at the age of 96 on July 9th.
Oh.
Don is the son of the legend Oob Iwerks, and Don's daughter, Leslie, has also worked on projects for Disney. Our prayers go out to Don's wife, Betty. They were married for 54 years. His sons, John and Larry, and of course his daughter, Leslie. And he was preceded in death by his daughter, Tamara, who he carried in his heart always.
Oh.
And
So,
now they're together again.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Exactly. So,
Beautiful reunion.
yeah, and just thanks to the iWorks family. Talk about, you
I
got the Disney
know.
family and there's the iWorks family and there's the Brogy family and there's so many families that
Yeah.
were so instrumental in Disney.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like it keeps showing week after week that it could never be just one man who built this. even though it
Yep.
was his vision. It was
Yeah.
Walt's vision, but he had the wherewithal to know how to get the people he needed to be able to
And
do what needed to be done.
and he had his brother with him from square one. It
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
always a family business.
Yeah.
yeah. So may he rest in peace and may his family have peace at this time.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
all right. Well, don't forget you can connect with us on our Facebook page, On the Road with Mickey, and our Facebook group is the On the Road with Mickey group. And that's where pretty much all of our discussion happens, almost all of it through the group. So thank you everyone for following along and commenting on all that. Our YouTube channel, hello YouTubers. That's Brenda drinking her drink. Is that
Ah,
coffee or water?
it's coffee.
There you go. Gotta
Yeah.
Yeah.
wake up. It's only
That's
9:46
right.
on the East Coast. It's even earlier for Brenda.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
So definitely need
Yeah.
that coffee.
I just had
Um,
myself a nice hot cup of tea with my breakfast.
Nice.
I've been doing vital proteins,
Oh, have
collagen,
you?
and all that.
Uh-huh.
And so that's become my thing. It's
Do
milk
you add it to your
and
Oh,
I add it to milk and I make like a chocolate milk smoothie.
nice.
And it's 18 grams of protein and it tastes good too.
I
So
do
we'll
that too with
see.
my Equip protein. They're
I
good.
made
It's a good way to start the day with some protein.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying kombucha recently. It is
Ugh.
not good.
Mm-mm.
It is not good.
I still have to try it, Sophie. I
Mm.
promised
Don't.
I would try it, so I will. Um,
Well, you also promised us you'd ride Tower of Terror with us, and you still haven't. So let's just see.
You
yeah,
leave him alone.
yeah,
Look
but
at what he's covering
we'll,
for today's topic.
I
yeah.
am really impressed by that, actually.
Anyway, Instagram is On the Road with Mickey. Email address is info at ontheroadwithmickey.com. And our website is also ontheroadwithmickey.com. So thank you all for following along and connecting with us. We love hearing from you. We love to hear what you are interested in. And it is now time for Sophie's question of the week feedback. So, Sophie,
Yay.
give us the question and the first answer.
All right. Well, the question of last week was, what is your favorite attraction lore and backstory? And that was in preparation for this week.
Hmm.
I naturally chose the Haunted Mansion.
And I said Expedition Everest because I really like that backstory. But in looking at the questions, it's not my favorite because the one I'm talking about today is really my favorite backstory, even though we'll get into that later. But
Which,
And
yeah, I
then,
mean, mine was, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is the best ride ever. I'm just saying.
just saying.
yes. And then Chandler said, I enjoy the stories of how the early Imagineers had to create the attraction ride systems before Disneyland even opened. That is a
Yeah.
good answer.
Yeah. And then the silent partner,
She
Cindy.
she's not silent anymore. Let's
No,
be real.
she said the backstory of Expedition Everest and Cali River Rapids, which are two phenomenal backstories. I
That's
mean,
true.
they
Yeah.
they really are. They really are, and they're each unique in their own way. Even though they're so close to one another, they each have their own completely separate backstory. So it's really cool how Disney does that.
Well, and I just
Um,
have a tiny share, even though we're not covering either of these rides. We are not covering Space Mountain and we are not covering Rock and Roller Coaster. But one of my favorite things about those is that when the Imagineers were working on Space Mountain and they had their headphones playing their music, they dreamt of a day they could have a roller coaster with music playing. And then years later, Rock and Roller Coaster, they were able to see that to fruition. And I always have thought that was so cool.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
just a little tidbit about that I think is cool Disney stuff.
exactly, and that also will play into your backstory of that progression from Space Mountain, Rocket Roller Coaster, and now over to when we get to you with Guardians.
Yeah.
Because the music is what is in part is what helps make that whole attraction.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but that's coming up, isn't it? So, but anyway, that's our question of the week feedback. And we will have another question coming up in the future. So stay tuned. But now it's time for the feature topic, the best Disney attraction backstories. And Sophie, it's your week to start us off.
All
So
right,
take
I
it
will.
away.
So anybody who knows me knows how much I love the Haunted Mansion. And so when I saw this topic for the week, I was like, of course, I've got to talk about the Haunted Mansion. There's just one problem with that. A couple years ago, we had a similar topic to this, and I had already discussed the lore of the Haunted Mansion and how it connected to the Haunted Mansion over in Tokyo Disney Sea, which was the Hotel Hightower. I have and Mystic Manor over in Shanghai Disneyland. I already talked about all three of those and how they are connected. Look up who George Hightower is, though. He will blow your mind. But I still wanted to talk about the Haunted Mansion, so I turned my attention to another Haunted Mansion type ride, and that is the Phantom Manor over in Disneyland Paris. And coincidentally, Phantom Manor is the only Haunted Mansion attraction with a canonical, confirmed backstory. All of the lore that I talked about, the Haunted Mansion and Hotel Hightower and Mystic Manor, all of that is just conjecture. There is no confirmed evidence that that is the story at play in those rides. So, it made only sense that I should talk about Phantom Manor this time around, even though I've never ridden the ride. But I know the lore like the back of my hand because I spent the whole week researching it. And the best place to start when talking about Phantom Manor is actually to talk about Disneyland Paris in its development. See, the thing about Disneyland Paris, it was originally called Euro Disneyland. They changed the name some time back. When the Imagineers were developing it, they had a bunch of other challenges that they needed to face when they were developing the park, specifically the fact that Disneyland Paris caters to a distinctly non American audience. The European audience does not care about Liberty Square. They do not care about New Orleans Square. So neither of those lands were incorporated into Disneyland Paris. But those are the lands where the Haunted Mansion exists in the United States. So the question now is, where does the Haunted Mansion go? Well, it turns out that there is a big enthusiasm, especially in France, for the American Gold Rush era. So naturally, that would become the new American focal point in the park, being the Frontierland equivalent known as Thunder Mesa. And Thunder Mesa was originally, it has its own lore. Everything in Thunder Mesa is connected to each other. And the lore goes like this. Thunder Mesa was owned by one Henry Ravenswood, who was the founder of the Big Thunder Mining Company in that area. He had a wife, Martha, and a daughter, Melanie. Now, as a child, Melanie Ravenswood was confined to the manor that is Ravenswood Manor that her father and mother owned. But as she grew up, she acquired a long list of suitors. 4 of those suitors can be seen in the stretching room portraits along with Melanie, where it shows the gruesome accidents that occurred leading to all 4 of their deaths.
Gruesome.
I'm serious. I'm very, very serious here. Um, and I know their names. I just don't have them written down. But after those 4 horrible accidents involving her suitors, Melanie finally met the 5th suitor, who was a train engineer for the Thunder Mesa Railroad Company. And I want you to keep in mind, Henry disapproved of every single one of the men that his daughter was courting. So he was very happy to see the first 4 get lost. But he eventually approved of the 5th suitor enough that wedding preparations were beginning to take place. But then it was discovered by Henry that this 5th suitor, whose name was Jake, intended to take Melanie away from Thunder Mesa and start a life elsewhere. And Henry, being the devoted father that he is, could absolutely not have that. However, before anything could be done, a massive earthquake struck Thunder Mesa and was rumored to be caused by a dynamite explosion in the Big Thunder Mining Company. This earthquake killed Henry and his wife Martha, leaving Melanie without her parents. It's unknown how she felt about this tragedy, but either way, the plans for the wedding still proceeded. And on the big day, Melanie dressed up in her bridal attire in the Ravenswood Manor, and she was waiting there for her betrothed to come and find her, and he never did. He never did. Days turned to weeks, and still Melanie vowed to wait for her fiancé to appear. Still, he never did. Weeks turned to months, months turned to years, and Melanie never left the manor during all that time. The legend goes that you can still hear her voice singing songs of lost love when the night is especially quiet, though it's unclear if she's even still alive at this point. Now, there is a backstory going on during this entire event. The ghost of Henry Ravenswood also appears in the ride, being that there's very minimal narration on account of having multiple languages to cater to. Unlike the ghost host in the Haunted Mansion in America, there is very little spoken explanation to what is happening in the ride, because you need to make sure that everyone understands, even though they may not speak French or they may not speak English or German or whatever language you speak, because you're from Europe and there are so many different languages there. So instead of having a ghost host telling you what's happening during the ride, you have 2 narrators in the form of Melanie and also this mysterious phantom who is really the villain of the story. Now, it is revealed that the phantom is none other than Henry Ravenswood, the ghost of him, I would say. And it is revealed that he is directly responsible for not only the disappearance of Melanie's 5th suitor, but also the deaths of the 4 that preceded him, be it by getting mauled by a bear,
I hate when that happens.
taking a boat over a waterfall, getting sawed in half by a wood mill, and I forget what the other one was.
You can bet it wasn't good.
No, it was quite gruesome. It was quite gruesome.
I bet.
So,
yes.
Let's see here. Mauled by a bear.
Over a waterfall.
Over a waterfall, or
cut in half.
Cut in half in a wood mill. Which would you, which would you rather have?
I remember what the final one was. Getting exploded by dynamite.
Dynamite explosion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you go for? If you had to choose door number 1, 2, 3, or 4, which would you choose?
2. I would choose 2.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
going
I would
over a
Seems
choose
like
two
waterfall.
too.
It would probably take a long time before you hit the bottom. So that's a long time to really
well, I
ponder
suppose
what's
is
happening,
the
you know?
is the
Oh
woodmill
no.
going head first or is it going feet first?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway, I don't think I'd want
anyway,
any of them, but anyway.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
no, no.
Ooh,
And so that is the entire um, backstory of the Phantom Manor. Now, Madame Leota does make an appearance in the Phantom Manor, and
okay.
she and Henry Ravenswood are both responsible for summoning a whole bunch of dead spirits into the manor after it falls into disrepair. But other than that, that is the story.
I have a question.
Wow.
Yes?
And of course, none of us have experienced Phantom Manor.
Yet.
Mm-mm.
Yet one day perhaps. Um, the it feels to me that Phantom Manor might be a more spooky sort of haunted mansion than the haunted mansions we're used to. Is that what you kind of feel like?
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. It is it is special in the fact that the bride in this case is not the direct causer of all the suitors to lose their lives. She is an innocent figure this time around. But
True.
in being that innocent figure, you need someone else to take on that nefarious intent.
Yeah, a
And I
father
would
that didn't
definitely
want you to be happy no matter what.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
I would definitely say that Phantom Manor is a spookier one. I have watched a long time ago, I watched a YouTube video of the ride,
Uh-huh.
and at some point in the ride, it does sort of leave the manor and go into this caved in mining section where you
Okay.
can see all these dead souls who lost their lives in that earthquake, and none of them seem to be especially kind or friendly.
Okay. So be prepared if you
Interesting.
ride it. Just be prepared. If you have littles, it may not be the happy-go-lucky kind of fun, whimsical ride like you would see at the Magic Kingdom or at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Also, please let us know if you've ridden it and what you thought.
yeah.
Please, please.
Isn't Phantom now? I might be getting my attractions mixed up, but didn't you say or I hear somewhere that there is the dragon
The
in this
Maleficent?
dragon the
Yeah.
dragon is under Sleeping Beauty Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I was getting confused then. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another thing that's worth seeing there.
Hmm.
yes. But no, so that's my explanation. It
Wow.
really went more, it's very surface level, but if I was given more time to prepare a full essay on this, I could probably write you a 3-page essay all about Thunder Mesa and how Phantom Manor is really the crowning jewel of
Hmm.
that entire area.
And I think it's really neat the way that the Imagineers also incorporate other aspects. You know, like the whole Thunder Mesa project that was supposed to be at Magic Kingdom and didn't open, but it spawned stuff like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and everything like that. And so it's kind of neat to see the way they tie it together. So, and I
Yeah.
think you did great, Sophie. I think it was
Yeah.
really, really exactly what I was hoping for as far as these go. So,
Well, thank you.
uh-huh. Brenda, you're
Oh
up
my
next.
God, I have to follow that.
You do.
Would you stop? Well, of course, the ride backstory I chose is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind because it is the best ride anywhere. I keep saying that. I know. I ought to be like on a commercial, right?
You ought
But
to be.
I
You
wasn't
are
sure.
every week on the road
I
with
am on a
Mickey.
commercial. Hi. I wasn't sure how many people, even not being Marvel fanatics like me, even know who Guardians of the Galaxy are. So I did just a little bit of history on who the Guardians of the Galaxy are. But the Guardians of the Galaxy, some would say, are intergalactic outlaws. Some would say are a team of intergalactic mercenaries who primarily defend Andromeda Galaxy. And some would say, think of them as good guys with an unconventional approach to the superhero business. I go for the third because
Yeah.
even though they're outlaws and they've had some things happen in their lives that caused them to go kind of rogue or whatever, they're good guys down at the core. So, of course, after they have saved everything in the first series, they joined the Avengers, which, the Avengers are the best. They protect everything. So I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. But specifically for this ride, I was like going through everything in the queue and there's great things to see in the queue and everything, but by the time you go through all of that, it ends up being like forever, and I didn't want to talk that long, so I've jumped to when they're in the final room before you go to the actual ride car. So I hope that's okay. But when you're in that area of the queue and you go into the gallery, the models of the Xandarian ships are displayed, and then you get into the gallery and the Terrans, we're called because we're inhabitants of Earth. So we're called the Terrans, and we're ushered into the final stop on the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, and Nova Prime, Irani Royale of the Nova Corps talks, and she welcomes us in and everything, and she starts, talking about how the Xandar and the Terra was born out of the same moment, which to them was the Big Bang. And so then she details how the Xandarians traveled through the galaxy to reach Terra to showcase their culture by utilizing the cosmic generator, which is important in this ride. It's the most important thing in this ride. It's a piece of Xandarian technology that creates jump holes that allows them to create shortcuts to reach destinations much quicker. As a culmination of the wonders of Xandar Pavilion, Terrans will be teleported into the Nova ship in space to demonstrate the cosmic generator. But after Nova Prime's presentation, the Centurion Tal Merrick of the Nova Corps welcomes Terrans and advises the prohibition of communication devices, which you're not allowed to record or anything like that with your phone, which nobody listens to because people have done it and it's all over YouTube. After the Terrans have been teleported to the Nova ship, the cosmic generator is stolen and the ship loses power before the demonstration can start, prompting Nova Prime to urgently call the Guardians of the Galaxy for help. Rush to the rescue, and all of them show up on the screen. They're all up there. Star-Lord, Gamora, they're all up there. Drax, everyone. And
I am Groot.
You are Groot. And Groot is pretty cool, actually. But there's this big celestial figure outside who has stolen the cosmic generator. So now it's up to the Guardians of the Galaxy to get us where we need to go. Then we get onto the ride, and this is when the fun starts. So this is like the overview of the ride backstory. So as the shuttle depart, the Terrans begin making their way to the Nova ship to enter the jump point in their evacuation shuttles. Peter Quill, who's Star-Lord, and Gamora usher them into tracking the shuttles and meet them with Drax and Rocket instead of pessimistic remarks about the situation, which, of course, if you are a Guardians fan, the banter with Drax Rocket, because Drax is my favorite because he's extremely literal. Like he does not understand metaphor at all. So he always has these fun things that he says when people talk. Like when Rocket says, "This is a piece of cake," he says, "Cake? Where's cake?" That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I love Drax. He's awesome. Well, after the Guardians of the Galaxy arrive in their ship, as Isan prepares to throw the cosmic generator towards Terra, who disregards Quill's music from the Guardians. He disregards the need for music, which is a big mistake because that is like one of the huge things with Guardians of the Galaxy, and especially with Star-Lord. The Guardians then blast the cosmic generator from the celestial hands, opening another jump point, which proceeds to suck everything in, taking them all the way back to the Big Bang and eventually fading into complete darkness. Suddenly, the evacuation shuttles are launched backwards in the explosion, and that's the backward launch, which is so fabulous on this ride. God, it's awesome. And it is at that point that the vehicles begin their spinning profiles on their axis to achieve a sensation of space travel while the story develops around them with randomized song selection out of 6 special songs. As the evacuation shuttles travel through multiple jump holes along the way, Guardians engage in combat with Isan and the Terrans as they also do the same in these jump points. Anyway, as the ride ends, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy welcomes the Terrans into, now you are new Guardians with us. And Drax is like, what? They can't come with us. And so it's funny at the end. But here is a fun thing that I discovered about the music, and y'all may already know this, but music is a very, very important part of Guardians, like in general. Mm-hmm. And the memory that Peter Quill, who's Star-Lord, has was a mixtape one that his mother made for him, and his mother passed when he was a boy. So this mixtape for him is his only connection to her. So it means everything to him. Yeah. But I thought this was interesting and of the utmost importance. Like the Guardians films, music plays a key role in the attraction. Over 100 songs were considered by Walt Disney Imagineering for the ride experience, narrowing it down to 6 featured songs that are randomly selected by a computer, each fitting the same motion profile of the ride vehicles is Disco Inferno, I Ran by the Flock of Seagulls, Conga by the Miami Sound Machine, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears of Fears, One Way or Another by Blondie, and September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I have had all of these songs except One Way or Another by Blondie. So I still have to keep writing so I can make sure I get all the songs. And there was a temporary, the first year that it was in existence, they did a Christmas overlay with Christmas music. Did not go over well. So they have not done that since. So they're not doing that, I don't think. But it's okay. People were upset because they didn't get one of the original songs when their only trip was during Christmas. So they changed it.
If I'm not mistaken, there is one day of a year where you are guaranteed to get a specific song.
Really? What day is that?
September 21st.
Oh, September.
Do you remember?
That has
the
to
21st
play.
Night of September.
That is interesting. That makes perfect sense.
Yep. And I expect that will probably happen every September 21st.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Yep.
And that's cool. But you know what? To me, it's okay that they don't glorify or put holiday to it.
Yeah.
They tried it and it didn't work, and they don't need to try it because on Disney Plus, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is absolutely one of my all-time favorite holiday shows now. It's a staple every year. It is awesome. It is just phenomenal, and it's not just the antics, it's the whole story and the emotion and the feeling of it that just is just really cool.
I totally agree. So Guardians is, it is the longest indoor roller coaster. It is the coolest ride anywhere at Disney as far as I'm concerned. I haven't been to all the Disney parks because I have not been to the ones in Europe, but I can't imagine anything being cooler. It's just so fabulous.
Yeah. And that is great. Great job, Brenda.
Thank you.
Great job. I love the ride.
I want to be on it.
Really
I can't wait. I got 46 days left. I'm counting down.
And the minutes just go so slowly.
Don't they though? Don't they though?
All right. Well, my backstory is just a continuation for Brenda. Brenda is the star of the show. Let's face facts. It's Grogu, Brenda.
You're
Sophie,
so
and then
bad.
me. And I'll let you all decide who's number one there. But anyway, I know I'm the
Grogu.
bottom. But this is a continuation because Brenda's previous all-time favorite ride was the
Yep.
Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Yep.
And
For
now that's been
25 years.
supplanted by Guardians of the Galaxy. And I am going to talk about the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and the backstory for it. So, excuse me. Picture this, if you will. The date is October 31st, 1939. The location is the Hollywood Tower Hotel. The scene: a severe thunderstorm rolls over Hollywood. Lightning strikes the hotel, and a service elevator carrying 5 guests disappears into another dimension. The hotel is abandoned, and decades later, it is open to the public for tours. That is the opening monologue, if you will, for the
Mhm.
Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Now, listen to the detail and to figure out exactly how they came about this. To gain an understanding of what the attraction would look like, the Walt Disney Imagineering team watched all 156 episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Oh my gosh.
And
Whoa.
many of them they watched multiple times, and they deliberately chose pieces from several different episodes to include in the attraction. When you enter the queue and you enter the hotel, you are entering the forgotten lobby of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, complete with dust covered furniture, half finished drinks, luggage that was never claimed, cobwebs everywhere, a stopped grandfather clock. Basically, what you are entering into is a space that has not changed since that fateful night on October 31st, 1939. Now, as for the ride itself, well, you don't just fall. First, you enter the fifth dimension that Rod Serling mentioned in the opening of every episode of The Twilight Zone. You don't fall, you fall faster than gravity. So you're not falling, you're being pulled down, okay? Faster than gravity. And lastly, since 2012, or 2002, I mean, computer technology was introduced, so no two rides are ever the exact same ride. The falls and the drop sequences are always randomized, so you never have the same ride twice. Now, let's talk about the construction. As for the building, and we've talked about this previously, is deliberately built at 199 feet. Why is it at 199 feet? Because
Can't go over that.
if it was 200 feet tall, FAA regulations will require an airplane beacon be placed on the top of the building, which would affect the theming of the attraction.
Yep.
Now, how's this for, you know, this is coincidence and yet not. Fun fact: this episode goes up on July 20th.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 days
July
from
20th.
July 20th, the Tower of Terror will celebrate its 32nd anniversary of opening on July 22nd, 1994.
Oh
My son Johnny's
gosh.
birthday.
That is so cool.
Yay, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Johnny.
Happy
Um,
birthday to Tower Terror too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I am never going to claim that the Tower of Terror is my favorite attraction. Tower of Terror is not my favorite attraction,
No.
but the way that the Imagineers have created such a suspension of disbelief, it is truly like you have left Florida, you have left Walt Disney World, you have left Hollywood Studios, you have entered another time, another place, and you have entered the Hollywood Tower Hotel on October 31st, 1939. And that is why the backstory for the Tower of Terror is so captivating to me and is absolutely, bar none, my all-time favorite backstory, despite the fact that I really, really do not like the ride. Period. End of story. But I have said it before, and I will say it again. We have made a pledge when we all three of us are together at Hollywood Studios on the same time, we will write it together and record it for an episode of On the Road with Mickey. So
Can't wait.
can't wait. That'll happen. Y'all will have to scrape me up and throw me into some trash barrel afterwards, but it'll be okay.
We will protect you. We'll sit on either side of you and protect you.
So I just think and it feels like I just talked for 2 seconds, but it is such an incredible compilation in the work that went into this attraction. And it has stood the test of time. I mean, 32 years, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool. It's just a phenomenal, phenomenal backstory. And I wish I wasn't as chicken of the ride as I am.
Oh, Daddy, it's okay.
That's how I
I
feel
know.
about Astro Orbiter. We all have one.
Yeah, we do.
We all
So,
have one.
That's how I
What's
feel
cool too
about.
is
That's how I felt about Dinosaur and
Oh.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
yeah.
there you go.
Anyway,
And
Well,
that
I
is
think it's
how I
cool to
will
ride it in
feel.
the really bad weather because you never know if, like, when you're riding that ride and it's raining, like really a bad like rainstorm outside, you're not positive if stuff's going to work right or if lightning's going to strike. So you never
Yeah.
have that kind of. It's kind of cool. Is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
Aunt Brenda,
yeah.
what are
It's
you
kinda
doing?
cool.
Are you trying to get sent to the Twilight Zone
No.
for real?
No, I just think it's a cool experience.
Oh.
I just think
Aunt,
it's cool. I'm sorry. I don't know. I know they've had to,
Aunt
kick people
Brenda,
out of that ride, like literally had to rescue them. I wasn't
I
on that.
love you, and I only want what is best for you. Don't get sent to the Twilight Zone, please.
I
We
don't
all know
want
what
to.
happened last time.
Well, you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
know.
Yeah.
You know, that little girl, she
Yeah.
could have been Brenda.
Yeah.
She's adorable, just like Brenda.
And I was born in 1939. No, she would have been
No.
born in 1930 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Sometimes I feel like I was born in 1930.
Anyway, that, my friends, is our feature topic. And I hope you all have enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed it.
Yay.
So Sophie, not to put you on the spot, but what's our question of the week?
Awesome.
Ooh, my question of the week. I suppose it's just it's a follow-up to last week's question, okay? Because I did not get the number of answers that I wanted, so I'm extending it a week because I really want to hear what you all have to say.
Okay.
So my question is again, what is your favorite ride backstory? And make sure you put again in there. Make it all capital, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with it and we'll see if we get any more feedback. Okay,
Yeah.
Sophie?
Yeah, because I was a little bit saddened that there were only 2 more answers.
Okay.
Could have been a big travel week. People may not have
Yeah,
been on
that's the
Facebook
thing.
much.
That's the
Sometimes
thing.
that
That's
happens in the summer.
no,
Hmm.
that's true. That is very true. You're right.
Okay. Well, it is time for this day in Disney history for July 20th. So, Sophie, take it away.
Okay, I will. The year is 1890, long time
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
Actress Verna Felton, best known for providing many female voices in numerous Disney films, as well as voicing Fred Flintstone's mother-in-law, Pearl Slaghoopel, for Hanna-Barbera, is born in Salinas, California. Starting her career on stage and radio, Felton's distinctive husky voice and no-nonsense attitude helped her become one of the premier character actresses in film and television. Fans of I Love Lucy may recall Felton for her guest appearances in 1953. Her son, actor Lee Miller, provided the voice of Jim Dear in Lady and the Tramp. Sadly, Felton passed away of a stroke on the evening of December 14th, 1966, only hours before the death of Walt Disney early the following morning.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
But her Disney credits include from Dumbo, the elephant matriarch slash Mrs. Jumbo, from Cinderella, the fairy godmother, Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts,
Wow.
Lady and the
Wow.
Tramp, Aunt Sarah, Sleeping Beauty, Flora, Goliath 2, Eloise, and The Jungle Book, Winifred the Elephant.
Wow.
Okay. I knew, of course, about her as the fairy godmother because we hear her song somewhat regularly on Disney hits on Sirius XM. But
Yeah,
I did not realize that she was Mrs. Jumbo and then that she was also the Queen of Hearts.
Well,
That's
me
a
neither.
I
that's a wide
definitely
range, you
I
know.
definitely recognized her as the fairy godmother and also as Flora and Aunt Sarah because I recognized those voices being the same. I had no idea about Mrs. Jumbo or the Queen of Hearts though, because that just sounds so different. Well, Mrs. Jumbo
Queen
I
of
can
Hearts
now
does. Yeah.
see. Queen of
Yeah.
Hearts, very different.
Yeah. So that just speaks to her talent, you know.
Yes. And
So
Winifred the elephant, I hmm.
yeah, we have to go watch, don't we?
Yeah.
And that's kind of
That's
what's kind of
awesome
cool about
history.
all these things is to be able
Yeah.
to pick back up on them and just look for them again, you know.
Hmm.
All
Thank you,
right.
Sophie.
Thank you, Sophie. Great history. And you know what? She will always be linked in many ways with Walt because of her passing being so close to his passing, you know? So,
Yeah.
um, but may her family, I hope her family has peace after all these years from her
I'm sure they're
passing because
very proud of
that's,
all of her accomplishments.
yeah, yeah. So the weekly Disney windows. The cast member today is Jack Lindquist. His lifespan from 1927 to 2016, and his career with Disney was from 1955 to 1993. He became a Disney legend in 1994. He has two windows. The first window location is in the Magic Kingdom, and it is over the Disney Clothiers. And it says in the text, the Peterson Travel Agency, reservations by cable anywhere in the world, passages booked by sea and rail, quote, exclusive representatives for the Titanic, end quote.
Oh, goodness.
Jack Lindquist Purser. First window was added in 1975. Then in 1994, when he became a Disney legend, a second window was added and located at City Hall in Disneyland. The text says J.B. Lindquist, honorary mayor of Disneyland.
Wow.
Jack
Wow.
of all trades, master of fun. And that window, as I said, was added in 1994. So Jack Lindquist was working for a Los Angeles ad firm when he visited Disneyland construction site in 1954. When Disneyland officials contacted him sometime later to ask if he could recommend an advertising person for the park, Jack recommended himself, becoming the park's first advertising manager in 1955.
Cool. What a
Wow.
job.
He was instrumental in the creation of the Magic Kingdom Club, which is a club that
Ooh.
offered park discounts to companies and organizations and published the Disney News magazine. He was instrumental in the ambassador program. Chosen yearly, Disney ambassadors participate in various community functions and special events, TV and radio interviews, and host special park guests. He was instrumental in the creation of Disney dollars.
Oh, I love
Whoa.
Disney dollars. I still have some of those.
I have 8 $1 Disney dollars that
Yeah.
I'm not giving away.
Me neither.
That they're priceless in my mind, and they're not priceless as far as value, but
Right.
they have appreciated in value. Um, so that's the currency offered at Disney parks, or used to be offered. You can't get them anymore.
Mm-mm.
Um, and then Disney grad nights, he worked on that. New Year's Eve celebration, and he was part of the creation team for the 10th birthday, which was called the Tencennial. So he was marketing director for the opening of Walt Disney World. Um, he was later named Disneyland president. Walt always referred to Jack as Bob, stating, "He looks like a Bob to me."
That is funny.
The Peterson travel agency heading in his Walt Disney World window refers to his family's original surname of Peterson, which they thought was too common when they arrived in America, and thus changed to Lindquist.
I'll be
So
danged.
anyway,
That is
I think
interesting.
that's really cool, and it's really neat to see the connection and how Walt called him Bob. He looks
That
like a
is too
Bob to
funny.
me. That's just funny.
That is too funny.
So, Jack Lindquist, we thank you for your service, and I especially thank you for the Disney dollars, because those things are so cool.
They are cool.
And I
For
wish
sure.
they would bring that back.
Me too.
That stuff is just, it's classic
It's special.
Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
is
thank you. That's
the
awesome.
weekly window.
Yay.
And now, Brenda, it's time for a little bit of Walt.
All right. If I can't find a theme, I can make a film anyone else. I can't make a film anyone else will feel. I can't laugh at intellectual humor. I'm just corny enough to like to have a story hit me over the heart, just like Guardians of the Galaxy did for me.
Yep.
You gotta feel it.
You got
It
to feel
becomes
this
part of
story.
you.
If you don't, then it won't be your best work. There's got to be a reason why you're doing it. And so,
Yep. And he was great at it. Thank
Yeah.
you, Walt Disney.
thank you, Walt. And thank you, Brenda, for the quote, as
You're welcome.
always. All right, my friends, that wraps us up this week. Coming up next week, we are taking a look at Disney with teens versus Disney with little kids, and how your trip might change a little bit as your kids get a little bit older. So that's our feature topic next week, but that's next week. This week, we hope you had a great time hearing about the backstories. Tell us what your favorite backstories are. Please let us know what that looks like to you, because we'd love to hear your feedback. We hope you have a great week, and we hope you have a smile on your face. Share your smile with someone, because we all need to be cheered up in this crazy, chaotic world we live in. So if you have a smile, share it with someone. If you have a frown, I hope someone shares a smile with you. And I hope we have brought some fun to your day at least. So until next time, though, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. And he's Grogu. And we will see you on the road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Grogu.